In Sigil, the gods hold no thrones. Their power is barred, their worship unwelcome. Yet belief still rules the cage, sharper than any sword, heavier than any crown. Here philosophies walk with flesh and voice, gathered into factions that shape every street and hall. A faction is more than a guild or order. It is a way of seeing the multiverse, a creed so strong it bends reality itself. To live in Sigil is to live among these philosophies, whether one joins them or stands apart, for their power stretches into every corner of the city. The Athar spit on the so-called gods, naming them frauds and tyrants. To the Defiers, the beings who call themselves powers are no more than overgrown mortals, parasites fattened on worship. They believe true divinity lies beyond the veil, a great unknown that no deity can touch. Their followers whisper prayers to no god, turning instead to the hidden truth behind creation. Scorned by priests, hunted by zealots, the Athar thrive in Sigil, for here divine hands cannot reach. They gather in crumbling temples stripped of idols, teaching that mortals should never kneel. To some they are blasphemers, but to others they are liberators, breaking chains of false faith. Their defiance makes them enemies across the plains. Yet in the cage their voices ring loud and unbroken. The Bleak Cabal claims there is no meaning to be found in the multiverse. Life is suffering, the planes are chaos, and any search for grand purpose is madness. To the Bleakers, sanity itself is a fragile mask, and most who cling to meaning are fools hiding from despair. Yet they are not without compassion. They tend to the insane, the lost, and the desperate in Sigil's madhouses, offering shelter even as they deny hope. Some call them cruel, but others see in their philosophy a grim honesty. For if nothing matters, then kindness and cruelty alike are choices without destiny. In their quiet halls, the Bleakers murmur truths that chill the soul. The multiverse does not care, and neither should you. To the Doomguard, entropy is not a threat but the ultimate law. All things decay, all towers crumble, and even the stars will burn out in time. The Sinkers embrace this truth, some merely watching, others hastening it with sword and fire. To them, preservation is vanity, while destruction is purity. They gather in armories where rust eats steel and dust coats forgotten weapons, revering entropy's steady hand. When war sweeps Sigil's streets, Doomguard blades are often among the first drawn, not for justice but to see another wall fall. Many fear them as pyromaniacs and wreckers, yet to the Sinkers, they are simply keeping faith with the multiverse's greatest certainty, that all things must end. The Dustmen declare that all mortals are already dead, trapped in a false half-life. True death, they teach, is not oblivion but release, the final peace when the illusions of existence fall away. Until that moment, all beings are little more than walking corpses, bound by chains of false desire. The Dustmen tend Sigil's mortuary, receiving bodies from across the plains, preparing them for the last journey. They speak in hollow tones, treating every soul as equal before death's gate. To some, their doctrine is chilling, for it denies joy and purpose alike. Yet many find comfort in their philosophy, believing the endless struggles of life are but shadows before the final stillness. The fated claim that all things belong to those strong enough to seize them. To the takers, the multiverse is a prize to be claimed, and weakness is the only sin. Property, power, and opportunity are not granted. They are taken, and only the bold deserve to hold them. They thrive in Sigil's markets, tax halls, and guilds, grasping wealth with unashamed hands. Others may sneer at their greed, but none can deny their cunning. To their followers, taking is not theft but destiny, for the multiverse belongs to the strong. Those who lack the will to grasp it have already surrendered. To the Fraternity of Order, the multiverse is a web of laws waiting to be understood. They call themselves the governors, sages who seek to uncover every rule, from the turning of stars to the flow of magic. Knowledge of lore is power, and with enough knowledge, all things can be mastered. In their halls, scrolls and tomes rise like towers, each inscribed with laws cosmic and mundane. The governors debate endlessly, crafting codes that mirror the laws of creation itself. To outsiders, they seem pedantic, yet when conflict erupts, it is often the governors who reveal the loophole or binding word that turns the tide. In lore, they see not shackles, but the very bones of reality. The Harmonium believes peace can only come through unity, and unity must be enforced. Known as hardheads to their foes, they wield lore like a weapon, seeking to bring every voice into harmony, whether willingly or not. To them, dissent is chaos, and chaos is the seed of destruction. Clad in crimson armor, Harmonium patrols march through Sigil's streets, keeping order with stern hands. To many, they are tyrants, crushing freedom beneath iron discipline. Yet others see them as protectors, for under their watch, the streets are safer, if not freer. In their vision, one day all beings will sing the same song of lore, and only then will peace reign. The Hands of Havoc are fire and rebellion. To them, authority is a lie, systems are prisons, and only by tearing down can freedom be found. They are not dreamers of utopia, but destroyers of chains, anarchists who delight in crumbling walls and toppling thrones. In Sigil, they gather in secret cells, striking swiftly and vanishing into the alleys. Some see them as mad bombers, others as liberators. Yet all agree their presence is dangerous, for their philosophy spreads like wildfire. Easy to ignite, hard to control. Where the Hands of Havoc walk, order trembles. The Heralds of Dust embrace death, not as peace, but as inevitability. They scavenge among ruins and corpses, believing memory itself is destined to fade. To them, nothing is eternal. Not gods, not philosophies, not even Sigil itself. All shall crumble into silence. They are often found in necropolises, speaking with mourners or whispering to the forgotten. Their creed is grim, yet their presence serves as a reminder that glory and power are but fleeting sparks. To follow them is to accept the dust, to see in every monument the promise of ruin. The mind's eye teaches that every soul is on a journey towards self-perfection. Unlike other factions that look outward to gods or ideals, they turn inward, believing enlightenment is found within. Experience, hardship, triumph, all are steps upon the soul's ascent. In their halls, students debate philosophy, test their limits, and seek wisdom through challenge. Some become teachers, others wanderers, all united by the belief that every trial is a gift. Their optimism makes them strange bedfellows in the cage, where cynicism often rules, but their creed shines with quiet resilience. The multiverse is a mirror, and every soul its own key. The Society of Sensation declares that truth can only be known through experience. To the sensates, every taste, sight, pain, and joy is a step toward understanding the multiverse. They embrace sensation in all its forms, believing that to live fully is to grow closer to truth. Their civic fest hall bursts with theaters, gardens, and halls where memories are shared like wine. Some call them hedonists, but the sensates insist their pleasures are sacred, for even agony is knowledge. To join them is to open oneself to every possibility, to drink deeply from the cup of existence until nothing remains untasted. The Transcendent Order, or ciphers, believe perfection lies in harmony between thought and action. To think is to hesitate. To act without thought is to become one with the multiverse. They train to quiet the mind until instinct and cosmos flow as one. Their followers move with grace, speaking little, letting their deeds carry truth. In battle, they strike before others can draw breath, guided by intuition. In peace, they serve as healers, builders, and wanderers, flowing through life without hesitation. To outsiders, they seem strange, yet to themselves they are closer than any to the heartbeat of creation. Once, Sigil knew more voices. The Revolutionary League plotted in shadows, spreading dissent and revolt. The Xiositects embraced madness, believing chaos the only truth. The Sign of One taught that each person's mind was the center of reality, while the believers of the Source claimed all souls could ascend to godhood. These creeds once clashed in the streets, but time and strife broke them. Some were destroyed in the wars of factions, others dissolved into newer philosophies. Yet their echoes remain, fragments woven into the Hands of Havoc, the Mind's Eye, and other rising voices. In Sigil, no belief ever truly dies. It waits, patient as the stones, for someone to breathe it back to life. Thus stand the factions of Sigil, 12 pillars of philosophy, and a dozen more remembered only in whispers. Together they rule the cage, not by crown or blade, but by the weight of their beliefs. In their endless conflicts and shifting alliances, the city is shaped anew each day, as if Sigil itself were a crucible of thought. In the next episode, we leave the streets of the cage behind and step into the outlands, where the spire rises eternal, and the 16 gate towns guard the doors to every outer plane.